Hey, it's Drybear. Back with another SitRep for Helldivers 2, and we've got a lot of big things to talk about today. First off, the Men-Kent line against the automatons has been established. We have defended both Lassath and Men-Kent for days and have been successful, establishing a defense in both of those planets and liberating them for the glory of managed democracy. And now that they're under control, we've been implementing greater defenses and hunkering down, and as a response, the automatons have decided to redouble their efforts on a different planet to try and punch through the backline of our new fortified defense. Which leads us to our new major order. We want to head over to Marfark and try to stop the automatons from punching through a weak point in our armor. And in a move that's kind of almost in spite, they decided to launch the factory striders that are bot fabricators on four legs. Essentially, the bile titans of the automaton army are being dropped down inside of Marfark and being used to punch a hole through the Helldiver line. On top of that, the weather is frigid and unforgiving, so this area needs you now more than ever. Tonight, your personal order is to complete 6 secondary objectives, which should be very easy to do and should be completed honestly in just normal play. The Superstore has been updated to have the FS-37 Ravager, again, another clean look that I love. It has the engineering kit passive and pretty low armor, but a nice clean look, and honestly has one of the more unique looking helmets in the entire game. It's got this kind of cool visor, so if you want something that stands out among the rest, FS-37 Ravager is in the Superstore right now. Additionally, we have another med team set up, the CM10 Clinician with the med kit passive. It's got the classic white and green and red for medical team. And the helmet standard issue for this is actually something that looks more like a pilot's helmet to me. Great visibility, large visor, and some reflection on top of the front of the face. On top of that, the community manager has put out 2 new player polls just a few days ago on the last SitRep. We talked about the 2 polls that were put out around the last warband that was released, as well as the usefulness of the precision rifles, the marksman rifles in the game. 2 new polls have been posted up by the CM. The first one is, in general, how do you feel about the current state of the game? Ranging between great, good, poor, and bad. And surprisingly, over 96% of the responses, 100,000 votes, are either between great and good, either having a ton of fun with the game or still play often but enjoy it less than before, which is kind of understandable if you have a lot going on or other games that you would like to play. Now, keep in mind that this is obviously the Helldivers 2 official Discord, which means that if you took the time to join the official Discord and be a part of that community, it's very likely that you are someone who's generally positive about the game, or at least a little bit more engaged and hardcore about the game than your average person if this poll had been posted on, say, a social media platform. But still, even inside of that controlled audience, you still have a large, significant amount of people that are either having a great time or still enjoying themselves with Helldivers 2, which is pretty rare nowadays as far as split for the audience. This next one is a fun one. If you had to pick one, which would you like to see going forward? And let me know what you think, what your predictions are for how this shook out. For 105,000 votes so far, still 35 hours left on the poll. The answers are either more weapons, new armors, different objectives, modifiers, biomes, and planets, or no new content, just fix the dang bugs. And as of right now, 37% of the players that responded want different objectives, modifiers, biomes, and planets, which honestly just says that people are just having a blast with the game. They're having so much fun. They just want new environments and things to run into. They're not even looking for new gameplay options of the armor and weapons as much as they just want new ways to play and possibly even a new faction to go up against, which could be really cool. And then the fixes for the bugs, which is pretty big. I think this is always going to be a popular answer no matter who you ask, because you have a game like this existing on console and PC. There's going to be a lot of issues. In fact, as of this morning, there was a hotfix that went out that addressed most of the issues with the new armors that were put out with the Warbond, and also with a bunch of crash situations. So if you've been having regular crashes with extracting at the end of a mission or joining a party or just general crash issues, check with the new update today and see if any of those have been improved for you overall. 18% said more weapons and 18% more said new armors, especially with more varied traits and passives. We talked about this before with the transmog system being discussed as well. The CEO has confirmed that no transmog or visual customization system will be implemented in Helldivers 2. Whatever it is that you're wearing gear-wise, that is the way you will look. You won't be able to replace the visual and separate that from the functionality of the gear that you have. And for that, I think they could definitely add in a lot more armor that have more varied traits and passives and interactions with how you dive in and fight the monsters and enemies you're facing, because I feel like just grenades, stim packs, or scanning is just not really enough, at least for me, to feel like a varied set of armor. It feels like most people just go for medium armor sets and forget about the rest. I also ran a poll on my channel asking my community what people wanted in the next war bond, and by far the biggest winner was new secondary weapons, and I tend to agree. I put that one on there because I definitely won. I feel like there's not enough secondary weapons to choose from. I have not changed my secondary weapon in a very long time, and I don't see that changing until they get a lot more options for the secondary weapons, and even things like SMGs would be second place here, just getting more primary weapon types that can just stand out against the rest, especially since we have so many support weapon choices. I feel like you could make some more interesting loadouts if you had more varied options for secondary and primary, because then whatever weakness your primary and secondary weapons have, you can cover that with a support weapon, for example. Another interesting topic is the idea of melee weapons in Helldivers 2. Recently on the Discord, the CM was asked about whether or not melee weapons were in the future, and they responded with a winky face, suggesting that it's something that they're thinking about or maybe even working on. And since the time for Helldivers 2 hasn't been too long, they have a bunch of stuff in the works for short-term and long-term that may not have even covered yet, or things that haven't been data mined from the game files that are coming along. So it's possible in the future you might be seeing lightsabers or charge weapons or long spear weapons as part of the Helldivers 2 kit offering. So if you haven't done so today already, make sure you get the secondary objectives personal order done and help us out on Marfark in the snow, fighting back the bots and also defeating the new Strider juggernauts that are coming down from above. Just make sure you aim for the head, try and blast them away. They can take a beating, but they will eventually go down. That does it today for the SitRep for Helldivers 2. I'll see you down on the battlefront. If you found value in today's video, leave a like down below, leave a comment for the algorithm to help this video get seen by more people, and don't forget to check out my other channels for other content and other stuff and other things.